The $100 True Wireless earbud market is hyper competitive at this moment. With so many options, it can be tough to decide on which one is right for you. With this problem in mind, I went ahead and tested out a bunch of different earbuds in order to figure out which are my top 5 True Wireless earbuds under $100. Now, if you're interested in checking out any of the options in this video, hit the links in the video description box right down below. Also, be sure to stick around all the way to the end of this video so you can check out some of the microphone samples that I've recorded for you. So now, let's not waste any more time. Alright, so number 5, and in 5th place, we've got the Jabra Elite 3. As you can see them, I've got them right here in their navy blue. They are available in a bunch of different colors. Now, these are running Bluetooth 5.2, and they use SBC and aptX as their connection codecs. In addition to this, they do feature single usage mode, so you can use them independently while the other one is charging in its case. Now, when it comes to video lag or latency, you're going to experience little to no latency when you're watching videos or with any sort of casual mobile gaming. But if you're somebody who's a competitive gamer playing like Call of Duty or other shooting games, you may want to look elsewhere for something that offers you a low latency gaming mode. aptX is pretty good as far as latency, but if you're hyper competitive, I would suggest looking elsewhere. When it comes to battery life, these are going to be offering you 7 hours along with 21 hours in the case. Now, if you do manage to run these down all the way, you can drop them both back into their case for 10 minutes and it will give you an additional 1 hour worth of playback time. Now, as far as charging the case itself, they do feature a USB Type-C port right on the back. Unfortunately, there is no wireless charging with these guys, but it doesn't surprise me considering that these are Jabra's budget entry-level entry into the True Wireless market. Now, when it comes to overall comfort, the Jabra Elite 3 are using a very compact and ergonomic style design and super comfortable for my ear. So overall, it is not a massive earbud by any means. Very ergonomically shaped, sits deep inside your ear, so overall, very, very good. Even if you have smaller ears, going to have some high compatibility here with smaller ears, medium ears, and easy fit for large ears like my own. Now, when it comes to controlling the Jabra Elite 3s, they do have some clicky buttons right here on the top. So very light press and you get some very easy clicks on these guys. But I do recommend using the pinch and hold technique. And that's basically when you got them in your ear, you want to kind of put your finger behind it and then click it. And this way you're not just jamming the earbuds into your ears. So that's just a common practice whenever you're using earbuds with button controls. Thankfully, the controls on the Jabra Elite 3 are full, so you do get control over everything. You got volume, skip track, play, pause, answer, and phone calls, so they're giving you controls over literally everything. So awesome to see that here. Now, in addition to all that control, you also have access to the Jabra Plus app. So here's the app itself. You see the Jabra Elite 3 there. It's going to show you the battery life. On the very top, you get the hear-through mode toggle, so you can turn on the hear-through mode. So if you want to use their ambient sound, you do have the option. You also get some music presets. You got 6 different options here for me. My favorites are going to be the neutral and the treble boost overall. For me, those are the better ones. Sadly, there is no graphic EQ built into these the way that you get with the 75T, the 85T, and the Elite 7 Pro. It would have been kind of nice to see, but I guess they have to do some sort of differentiation here. So you do get some other options here. Obviously, there's some settings if you want to go in there for like firmware updates, things of that nature, but overall it is a bit on the limited side. They do give you a couple of options, but overall it's kind of limited. It would be kind of cool if they opened it up a little bit more to give you further control over these, in my personal opinion. And then, as I mentioned a second ago, the Jabra Elite 3 are featuring a hear-through mode, and that's where you can activate the microphones in an ambient sound fashion so you can hear what's going on around you. Now, it doesn't sound overly processed. It actually comes in on the natural side of things, but it's really on the quiet side. It would have been kind of cool to see them add that volume slider that they have for the Elite 75Ts, where you can adjust the strength of that ambient sound, because that would make this feature much more useful in my personal opinion. Now, moving over to sound, when it comes to volume, these are going to get an 8.5 out of 10 on my scale. So they do get loud, but there are louder options on the market. But for me, these are more than loud enough. Comfortable listening for me comes in right around, 65 to about 80%. So no issues there with volume, at least for me personally. Now, moving over to the sound quality, these are going to have Jabra's bass heavy sound. So you're going to get that strong bass punch. You're going to get that sub bass rumble. So overall, very good. Neutral mids, it's kind of a warm sound overall, with some pretty good tonality in my personal opinion. But there isn't a lot of like width to the sound. There isn't a lot of soundstage or anything like that. It is kind of a closed in type of sound. Now the treble itself is not going to be as prominent as some of the other earbuds that you'll find on this list. So that's something that I want you to kind of take note of. With the treble boost, it does get a little bit better, but overall it is not the most crisp of treble that I've ever heard. But like I said, it's a warm, bassy type of sound. And if you're into that kind of sound, then these are going to be an excellent option for you. So now let's move over to number 4. And in 4th place, we've got the Lypertek Z3 2.0, also known as the Tevi 2.0. So these are featuring Bluetooth 5.2, and they do have AAC, SBC, and aptX as their connection codecs. On top of that, they do feature single usage mode, so you can use them independently while the other one is charging in its case. Now, the fact that they do offer aptX means that they do give you very little to no latency when you're watching videos or when you're doing any sort of mobile gaming. Not going to be a big deal here. Now, when it comes to battery life, these are featuring 10 hours on a single charge with an additional 70 hours on this charging case. That's right, 70. So 7 full recharges on these bad boys. Pretty wild when it comes to battery life. And then as far as charging the case itself, they do feature USB-C right here on the back, but they are also wireless charging compatible. So you can charge this case wirelessly if you choose to do so. Now, when it comes to overall comfort, these are actually quite comfortable for me. They do have a small earbud design. So as you can see right here, it is actually quite small, very highly compatible with, large, medium, or small ears. Now, once again, as you see right here, I am using SpinFit CP360 tips on these guys. Superior seal, superior fitment. So I always recommend those. But overall, it is a small earbud. Now, something that I will say is they do stick out quite a bit. So definitely not going to be good for the side sleepers out there. Not super discreet because they do kind of stick out a bit, but overall, they do have some excellent fitment. And if you're one of those people that are going to want to use their earbuds for working out, exercise, things of that nature, these do feature a full IPX7 rating. So nearly waterproof, I would say. So you can definitely get these wet, not going to be a problem whatsoever. Sweat, water resistance, totally got you covered. Now, when it comes to the controls, these are using button controls, and it is kind of an old school style button. So you do want to use the old pinch and hold technique, like I mentioned before, because these buttons are not light press. You do have to put a bit of force into them to actually get them to do stuff. Now, the controls are there. You can play pause, you can control your volume, you can control your tracks. So they do have controls all available to you here. And some of these controls are adjustable within the Lypertek Pure Control app. All right, so here we have the Lypertek Pure Control app. As you can see here, the big slider on the top, that's going to be your volume. And then under that, you also get this LDX audio, which is sort of almost like a stereo widening type of feature. So you get a bit more soundstage to it. It makes it sound similar to the Sennheiser Momentum True Wireless 2. That's the best way that I can explain it. It's actually kind of cool. I actually prefer keeping it with this setting, but you do get some options here. So you could turn it off and then you get access to an equalizer. So you get 8 different presets in here, but you also get customs. So if you want to go in and change it, you want to add some mids, if you want to go in and kind of build your own, you can totally do that. So you get those options as well. Backing out, you do get some controls over your double click and your triple click, so you can make some adjustments there as well. There is the hear through toggle, so if you want to use their ambient mode, you can. There's a find my earbuds option, and then settings will give you access to firmware updates and things of that nature. So overall, the app itself is pretty simple and straightforward. There isn't a lot to it. Definitely gets the job done. So, and I've definitely seen worse apps out there. So overall, it's okay. So now let's move over to a little bit of the performance here. And in the performance mode, first thing we're going to talk about is going to be that hear through mode, and that's their ambient sound. It works, but it is pretty weak and it is very processed sounding. So basically it makes me feel like the microphones here might be a bit on the older side as far as technology goes, because this ambient mode, what they're calling hear through, is just not that good. I mean, it's just bottom line, it's just not that great. Something that they definitely need to work on and hopefully can be improved over time. Hopefully, maybe firmware update, I don't know, but hopefully. Next, let's talk about the volume. When it comes to volume, the Lypertek Z3 2.0 are going to give you a 10 out of 10. So basically, they're dummy loud. Like, that's the best way that I can put it, is that they are dummy loud, way louder than I will ever need them to be. So lots of volume to be had here. Now, when it comes to sound quality, if people have heard of the Lypertek Tevi or the Lypertek Z3, they're going to be known for excellent sound quality. These have tight, accurate bass response, really good separation in that bass. You get nice sub bass as well. Never rolls into the mid-range, so there's no muddiness, there's no boominess, nothing like that. Now, as far as the mid-range, they do have a more mid-forward sound, so you are going to get some vocal clarity. They're going to have a nice smooth tone to them as well. The treble on these is very crisp, and you're going to get a very wide soundstage with these for a set of True Wireless earbuds. This was initially the closest that we had gotten to in-ear monitor-like sound out of a set of True Wireless earbuds. So these are still quite impressive to this day, considering considering how long they've been out on the market. But overall, the sound quality of these is excellent and definitely one of the best ones on this list. So now let's move over to number 3. And in third place, we've got the Google Pixel Buds A. So if you can see right here, I've got them in their olive color. So these are the Google Pixel Buds A series. These are featuring Bluetooth 5.0. They've got AAC and SBC as their connection codecs. And they're also featuring single usage mode. So you can use each earbud individually while the other one is charging in the case. Now, when it comes to lag or latency, when you're watching videos, movies, or doing any casual gaming, you're not going to experience much latency there. Only if you're a highly competitive first-person shooter gamer, then you may want to look elsewhere. When it comes to overall battery life with the Google Pixel Buds A series, you're going to get 5 hours on a single charge, and they're going to give you an additional 24 hours with the case. They also feature fast charging, so you can drop these earbuds back into the case for 15 minutes, and they will give you an additional 3 hours worth of playback time. Now, when it comes to charging this case itself, they do feature a USB Type-C port right here on the bottom. Unfortunately, one thing we did lose with these was the wireless charging feature. Now, when it comes to comfort with the Google Pixel Buds A series, these are one of the most comfortable earbuds that I have ever tried. Period. The only earbud that I would consider more comfortable than the Google Pixel Buds A series are going to be the Ultimate Ears Fits, the UE Fits with the molded tips. Those are going to be the only ones that I would consider more comfortable than these. So overall, this is a tiny earbud. So these are going to be highly compatible with large ears, medium ears, and even some of the smaller ears out there. And they also feature this stabilizer right here. So they'll give you excellent grip if you want to use these for workouts or anything of that nature. Now, if you are somebody who wants to use these for workouts, they do carry an IPX4 rating, so definitely don't want to submerge them, but they will have you covered for sweat and splashes. Now, as you can see here, I am using, once again, the SpinFit CP360 tips, just a better seal overall. They definitely perform better for me personally. That's why I always use them on my earbuds. But as you can see here, this is a tiny earbud, super comfortable, highly compatible, very discreet overall. And yeah, I mean, definitely one of the most comfortable earbuds that you can find right now. They're good for all use cases. General listening, if you want to sleep with them, side sleeper is not going to be an issue. You want to work out on them, not going to be a problem. So overall, an excellent ergonomic design, in my opinion. Huge kudos to the Google team for making that happen. Now, when it comes to controlling the Google Pixel Buds A series, they are using responsive touch controls, and you do get control over pretty much everything with the exception of volume control. So you do get your play pause, you get your skip forward and back, answer and phone calls, and they do feature in-ear detection, which will do automatic play and pause for you. So you do have those options right there. Now, there isn't any like app support per se because there isn't a separate app, but the Pixel Buds A are integrated into Android's own operating system. So inside of there, you're going to see options for the Google Assistant. There's going to be the adaptive sound, the bass booster option for the EQ, firmware updates, things like that. But it's just integrated into the Android operating system. There isn't like a separate app, anything like that. Now, moving over to the performance of the Google Pixel Buds A series, when it comes to volume, I'm going to give these a 9.5 out of 10, so very loud and more than enough volume for what I'm going to need out of them. When it comes to sound quality, these are excellent. Like, somebody really took the time to really test these out, like really put in the work on getting them EQ'd correctly, and it is quite impressive here. These are going to give you some nice punchy bass, but it's not bloated or overly boosted or muddy in any sense. And it can be augmented with their bass boost option, and it still doesn't ruin the audio. The mids are very clear, excellent vocal clarity. You get this warm, rich type of sound to it as well. The treble is very, very smooth. There's no harshness. There's no sibilance. Just overall, a very pleasant overall sound experience, in my opinion. Probably one of the most pleasant earbuds to listen to on the market, period. So an overall really good experience with the Google Pixel Buds A series. So now let's move over to number 2. And in second place, we've got the Sabbat E16. So these guys right here, these are featuring Bluetooth 5.2 along with AAC, SBC, and aptX as their connection codecs. They also feature single usage mode, so you can use them individually while the other one is charging in its case. In addition to this, these are also featuring a low latency gaming mode. So there's not going to be any lag or latency when you're watching movies or when you're playing any sort of mobile games. Now, when it comes to battery life, these are giving you 8 hours on a single charge with an additional 24 hours in this case. And then when it comes to charging the case itself, they do have a USB Type-C port on the back, but these are also wireless charging compatible. So they're going to give you complete options when it comes to charging the Sabbat E16s. Now, when it comes to the comfort, they are featuring a ergonomic design, but this is a bit of a chunky boy earbud. So not exactly the smallest earbuds out there. Bit of an ergo design, similar to what you would see on some of the older IEM models out there. But one thing I will say, smaller ears definitely beware. If you have a smaller ear, you're probably not going to be able to rock with these. Just giving you that heads up right now. They are large buds for sure. Now, if you want to use these for workouts, anything like that, they do feature an IPX5 rating, so they will have you covered for any sorts of splashes, sweat resistant stuff like that. Not going to be a problem. Now, when it comes to controlling the Sabbat E16s, they do use button controls. So as you can see right here, little clicky buttons, play, pause, things of that nature, and they're full controls. You get volume, play, pause, skip track, all of that stuff. It's all going to be right here on these earbuds. Now, when it comes to the performance itself, volume. The volume on the Sabbat E16 is a 10 out of 10, or what I basically will call dummy loud. Like, it is more volume than anybody's going to need. These get really, really loud. And that's something they were known for. The previous version, the Sabbat E12s, they were known for being bass monsters and super loud. These are no slouch whatsoever. Now, when it comes to sound quality itself, they are giving you a different type of driver. They call it a BM membrane driver. So it has similar properties to a hybrid driver, like a dynamic with a balanced armature. It's giving you that type of sound quality. So very, very good. You're getting excellent bass response, very deep sub bass rumble, good sub bass extension. It's a mid forward sound because they wanted to make sure that they had very good vocal clarity. So excellent when it comes to the mid range. You're getting some crispy clear treble as well. You're going to get some nice stage. You're going to get some excellent instrument separation as well. Overall, excellent sound quality here. Very dynamic. I would say maybe W-shaped sound, I would say something along those lines, but very, very good. If you want that bounce, you want that thump, the Sabbat E16s are going to be some that you definitely don't want to sleep on. They definitely earn their place in the number 2 slot here. Now that's going to bring us to the number 1 spot on my list. And in number 1, we've got the Moondrop Sparks. Now these are featuring Bluetooth 5.2 along with AAC, SBC, and aptX Adaptive as their connection codecs. You can also use these independently, so you can use each one independently while the other one is charging in its case. Now there's going to be little to no latency when you're watching videos or doing any sort of mobile gaming. And that's one of the big benefits of using aptX Adaptive, is that it gives you the benefits of both aptX HD for high-res audio and aptX low latency, so no issues with video or mobile gaming whatsoever. Now, as far as battery life, these are going to give you 8 hours on a single charge with an additional 48 hours inside of the charging case. And then charging the case itself, they do have a USB-C port right here on the back, so they're going to have you covered for that. Unfortunately, there is no wireless charging with the Moondrop Sparks. Now, when it comes to comfort, these have a very IEM-like design. So IEMs, when I say that, I'm talking about in-ear monitors. So for people who've seen those, they have a very similar shape to your standard in-ear monitors here. So something to kind of keep in mind. Unfortunately, this stem here is quite long, so they do stick out quite a bit. So that's something you want to keep in mind. Smaller ears, you may want to be careful with these. Just something to think about. But if you've got medium or large ears, it's not going to be an issue for the rest of us. But these are definitely going to be a no-go for side sleepers. Just, throwing that out there. Now, when it comes to controls, these are using touch controls. Unfortunately, there is no volume control, but you can control everything else. So you got your play pause, you've got your skip tracks, things of that nature. Unfortunately, no volume control. Now, one of the other cool things about the Moondrop Sparks is you do get access to the Moondrop Link app. Now, the app itself, it's a little on the janky side, but I'll go ahead and walk you through it real quick. So you do get OTA, which is your over-the-air updates. If there's a firmware update needed, you can do that right there. Then you have the custom touch, and this is where you can make some adjustments to the touch controls themselves, but as I said before, unfortunately, still no volume control. Not sure what's up with that. Now, in addition to this, you do get some different tuning configurations. So there is balanced bass head, David Shoe, no bass studio, and Venabostal, something like that. I tried all of them. Balanced is by far the best sounding out of all of them to my ears. So that's the one that I end up sticking with. Aside from that, you also get a product description. I'm not going to go into it. It's like a user manual, but overall, that's pretty much it. As I said, the app itself is leaves a little bit to be desired. It's a little on the janky side, But I mean, it is what it is. There's not much we can do there. But let's move over to a little bit of the performance here. So when it comes to volume, the Moondrop Sparks are going to be giving you a 9.5 out of 10. So these get very loud. So no issue with volume whatsoever. They really bring it. If you're somebody who's maybe a little bit hard of hearing, or you just like to rock out with some seriously loud earbuds, it's not going to be a problem for you. Now, when it comes to the sound quality, this is classic Moondrop. The tuning is superb. For people who've been following me for a while, you guys know I love Moondrop IEMs. I love the KXXX. I love the Blessing. I love the Aria and the Starfield. So I'm a Moondrop fan. And the tuning here is no exception. These are excellent tuned. So excellent bass response. There's no bloat. There's no boominess. It stays right where it needs to be. They have a smooth and rich mid-range. So you get an excellent vocal clarity when you're listening to both male and female vocalists. I mean, it is buttery smooth. I love it. You're getting a nice wide stage to it. Now, when I say wide stage, I'm not talking about in-ear monitor type stage. I'm talking about True Wireless Earbuds here, but still excellent soundstage for that. And then with the treble, it is very clean, very crisp. There's no sibilance, there's no harshness. It rolls off right at the right moment, and you're still getting some very good instrument separation. So overall, it's the sound quality that put these at the very top, because it is just very pleasant to listen to, very smooth, and very, very well tuned. So now let me go ahead and hit you with some microphone quality samples, and this way you can hear what all of these sound like back to back to see which one is going to work best for you. All right, so here we have the microphone quality test for the Jabra Elite 3. So testing, 1, 2, 3. So you can see I'm indoors in a semi-quiet room. So testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, so here we have the microphone quality test for the Lypertek Z3 2.0. So testing, 1, 2, 3. Obviously, I'm indoors once again in a semi-quiet room. So testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, so here we have the microphone quality test for the Google Pixel Buds A series. So testing, 1, 2, 3. As you can see, I'm indoors once again in a semi-quiet room. So testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, and here we have the microphone quality test for the Sabbat E16. So testing, 1, 2, 3. Obviously, I am indoors once again in a semi-quiet room. So testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, so here we have the microphone quality test for the Moondrop Sparks. So testing, 1, 2, 3. Obviously, I'm indoors once again in a semi-quiet room. So testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, and here we have the Jabra Elite 3 in a simulated crowd noise environment, something like a busy bar or maybe a crowded restaurant, something along those lines. So, testing, 1, 2, 3. And here we have the Lypertek Z3 in a simulated crowd noise environment, something like a busy bar, maybe a crowded restaurant, something along those lines. So, testing, 1, 2, 3. And here we have the Google Pixel Buds A series in a simulated crowd noise environment, something like a crowded bar or maybe a busy restaurant, something along those lines. So, testing, 1, 2, 3. And here we have the Sabbat E16s in a simulated crowd noise environment, something like a busy bar or maybe a crowded restaurant, something along those lines. So, testing, 1, 2, 3. And here we have the Moondrop Sparks in a simulated crowd noise environment, so something like a busy bar or maybe a crowded restaurant, something along those lines. So, testing, 1, 2, 3. As always, you're going to have to be the judge of the microphone quality down in the comment section. Now, with all of that out of the way, if you want to check out some of my other options for noise cancellation under $100, check out the video that I'm going to leave for you right up here on the screen. With that said, I'm out of here. Peace.